Hello, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with myself and Jenny from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghosts, Dora, one of our investigators there. We're a bit short-handed tonight, so it's just us three on here. We're talking about our Saturday night investigation at the Bursledon Brickworks. Is that right? Bursledon? I think that's how. Yeah. Where is it?
Bursledon.
Bursledon. There you go. Corrected. So, Saturday night investigation we did there with another group as we were guests, and it was a charity thing, so we went along and did our bit on that. So, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. So, if you have any questions or any things you want to add in, please send it through. Angela will put it on the screen. We have a few pictures and some bits and pieces for you on the brickworks, so it'll probably be short and sweet this one tonight, because obviously we got things to be doing and people are still on holiday, so it's just us. I'm sure Luke will be in a minute. I think Julia's busy with some other stuff at home, so it will just be us, boring lot, the three of us. So we'll have it's a good videos and some good pictures to come. Get your take on them, see what you think. We have an EVP reading, which is a Class A one, which is a direct response. Now we'll play it, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. What you'll hear is me say, "My name's Paul. What's your name?" And then you'll hear this name after. Whether you'll hear it on here, we're going to try it and see if you can. We won't tell you what it says. We'll tell you what it says after, when we think we know what it is. So enjoy. So send your messages in and your queries or questions, and we'll hopefully answer them for you. So Saturday night in the pouring rain, we went to the Brickworks, and it's a museum. Never been there before, so it's quite exciting to see a new place. Very interesting place on 2 floors. If I'm right, isn't it 2 floors? Yeah, with an upper and lower level. A very good museum. Really worth going to have a look. It's very, very interesting, the history, and it's very creepy. Very, very creepy. But it was set out by Spirit Chasers, so it was their venue, and we went along there and we had a good time. Very structured, very moved you around the building, so you got a choice of all these different haunted rooms within the building. So you were doing half an hour, 40 minutes in one, and then a cup of tea, and then moved on to the next one, etc., etc. So it's a good place. We had some good contact from Spirit when we were there. To say we have a direct EVP, Class A EVP to come. We'll play that in a bit, so hopefully you'll be able to hear that. Dora got some real good shots, some good pictures, just out of the blue. Like we say, take pictures, and she got a really, really good picture, and Dora will explain how she got it and what she saw when she took the picture. So that's really interesting. So my experience there was good. I enjoyed it. The different places. I like walking around the museums. They're interesting, great history. And we were in one main room. It's a little bit noisy to try and get EVPs because the floors are very thin and slatted floors, so you could hear people upstairs walking about. So you never really knew whether you had footsteps in the room or it was spirit. But, you debunk it. Say, well, that's someone moving. It's got to be. And someone would be moving chairs. So obviously, we debunked most of what we got. The EVP, we can't. because we're not sure. But we went into a room off of a main room that had all like what looked like brick samples in the room. So we were standing in there. We tried table tipping, but didn't get a great deal on the table. It was just sort of very quiet. I don't know whether it's because there was a lot of people there. Hi, Jamie. Good evening to you. We don't know whether it was because there was a lot of people there, whether the activity was a bit on the low side, but we had some good activity where we were. So we were in a side room, myself, Dora, Angela, and that. We were in the side room. It looked like brick samples, didn't it? The room, that little room off the main room, it looked like brick samples. And a few times we had orbs, but there was a lot of dust in there. So I think we can discount a lot of the video through dust, to be honest with you. But a couple of times we heard what we sounded like, what would you say, a scraping, a knocking? What type of, I don't know what the type of noise was. What would you say that noise was?
It wasn't really a tap, was it? It sounded like one of the bricks was moving against another brick, that kind of sort of noise.
Yeah, and we cut the cat balls out, and they were flashing like mad.
Yeah.
So we got some video of that, I think. So that was good to get contact on. And they were on bricks, so they're hardly moving around. You know, it's a solid shelf with these deep, what looked like brick samples. So that was quite interesting. We had quite a bit in that room. And I think that's where we picked up. Was that where we picked the EVP up in that room, wasn't it? Because we knew, we had a feeling something was in that room. But we did the EVP, we had the cat balls flashing, you know, various things in the room, and the scratching or scraping type noise of the bricks rubbing together. It was slightly behind myself and Dora, and Angela was off to the left a little bit. We couldn't make out where they were coming from, but it did sound like actual scraping of bricks. So not sure on that one, to be honest. You go lost Dora. So you got to be, you know, we always look at debunking it. There was no room next door. It was an outside wall, and there was nobody outside. So interesting, but we can't say 100% it was spirit this time.
No.
So
and it was rather dark in there as well, wasn't it? I think there was only one sort of little emergency light thing, but it wasn't that bright.
No.
And so looking towards the back wall, you couldn't really see anything. You didn't know what was there. It was that dark.
No.
But a couple of times when there was a bit of light from like the cat ball flashing, or like someone was taking photos, I sort of saw what looked like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a dark shadow, but it wasn't of a person. It was just sort of like a line or something that went past. I don't know what it was, but something dark moved in the dark.
Yeah. And it was especially dark, wasn't it, between the racking, albeit it had the emergency light on, but it was very dark down that end of the room.
Yeah, very
wasn't
dark.
It? And that's sort of at the beginning of I was going to say, at the beginning of the shelves, we put the cat balls a little bit further down, like aisles, that's the word, aisles, of these bricks. So we put the cat balls a bit further down the aisles, and admittedly, it did keep going off. It was quite impressive because that's all right. We were saying, you know, can you set the cat balls off, and the cat ball would flash, and so it was really good to see that. But you just knew something was in that room because it was dark. But beyond dark, you know, anybody watching this will understand when we say it's dark, and then you get beyond the dark. And it was very much like that in a very small room. Quite why it'd be so dark in there, because it had obviously emergency lighting on, we don't know, but we did know, or we did sense, shall I say, something moving in the back of that room. What was your sense, Dora, there?
So I stood, like you three stood on front of me, and I've got my back to the racks with the all bricks.
Yeah.
And you was talking, Paul, and trying to do EVPs, and I just jumped.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked you, did you hear that? And you was all going, no. I heard a woman whisper in my ear, and no one, like, on events, I never have a, like, proper whisper like that in my ear. I literally jump, and then that cat boost was going off on the shelf after that all the time, and
Yeah. I forgot about that. The whisper in your ear. Because
Yeah.
nobody else heard it other than you, Dora, did you?
Yeah.
Did we?
It did
And
make
yet
me jump.
I was standing next to you, and Andrew was a little bit way off of you,
Yeah.
and yet we didn't hear it. So it's quite
No.
concentrated then, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was
from-
weird, that room.
There's something in that room,
something
isn't
was hiding there.
it? Yeah.
I think wherever you went, it felt like something was hiding, didn't really want to
Yeah.
be known, but it was just like there in the background.
Yeah. But you knew it was there, didn't you? Hi, Russell. Good evening. Welcome. You knew it was there, didn't you? That it was in something was in every room that we went in. We knew there was something in that room. Hi, Christine. We knew something was in the room. You just, like you say, you had that feeling something was always watching you or wasn't far behind you.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the brick to fall off the shelf, but never happened.
Yeah, that would have been.
Well, I was waiting for the door to open, to be honest, because at one stage the door was shut, and when I looked to the door, and I don't know how Angela mentioned the door. Did you mention about the door? The door looked like it was open a bit, but I don't know.
Jenny
Was
said
it?
she
Yeah.
saw the movement that way.
Yeah, so it was odd little things like that we had in that room. So it was a really interesting start to the room. We came, what was it? We went in the hallway first before we went into that room, didn't we? In the long corridor.
Yeah.
Where we thought we saw someone walk out of the room and across the corridor. So we took the table outside into the corridor, and obviously we had the laser grid up, and we were doing our normal calling out like you do, but we never really got much response. But behind us, there was another lady there that joined us when we were doing it. Said she was interested in what we were doing, and then we were standing there, and I said, like, can you knock on a door? Can you make a noise? And there's a very loud, like, bang behind us.
Yeah.
And she turned around and went out and said, oh, there's nobody here, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she even went into the room off the side to see if anybody was in the room. She said, well, that was a fair old bang, and it was quite a bang.
Yeah.
Whether it was a door banging, I don't know. But we heard the bang, but couldn't really place where it was. But it also could have been someone upstairs.
Yeah, because that led up to where we came from.
Yeah, because that led up to the stairs. So although we heard, we got a response to the question, and then we had the bang or the tap, but then we can debunk. We may be able to debunk that because if people were moving upstairs, they might have moved a chair. Somebody might have dropped a bit of equipment. Just at that specific time, we heard the bang in a response to the question. So whether we got a response to the question, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of them ones where you think, I'd like to hope so, but in the bottom of your heart, you think it could be someone dropped something. We could hear other people in the building because obviously, like I said earlier, the floors were very slatted. So you could hear people. And a couple of times we thought we heard footsteps, but then you stop and listen, and then you can hear people moving above you. So, we were discounting lots of what we were getting through to people moving around and obviously people talking very loudly. And when you're trying to do EVPs, it's a very difficult thing to get. I understand you can't get it dead quiet because there's groups of people. It's probably, I don't know how many people are there, 30 odd people?
It was quite a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 30 or 40, but I think there was 14 with about 7 in each. So
yeah, so that gives you an idea of how many people are there, and you can imagine the amount of people there that are moving around between floors and rooms, and because you sort of had one length corridors, and then you had rooms off the corridors, so people were moving between corridors, moving down the hallway. People, because above was a wooden floor above us with slats, so people moving about upstairs. And then we went from there. We went and had a break, and we went to, was it the boiler room? We went to after that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We went to the furnace, or the boiler room as they called it, which was interesting for us. We were standing in there, and massive boilers, and me and Dora were reading like a history on the boilers and that, which is halfway down on the left hand side. And we both looked at each other because I had my night vision camera running at that time, myself and Dora looked at each other and went, "There's a child here." We both said it at the same time. We sensed like a little, what we think was a child. Didn't see any evidence of it, but we knew there was someone there moving between the boilers. And even the people at the other end were saying they could get movement or hear something. And so we then laid out the laser grid as well on the boilers. And one of the event organisers was calling out, you know, can you come out of the boiler? Can you do something? And there's lots of bits going on in there. And then we sort of split up like it. We left the room. There's supposed to be a really grumpy man there that doesn't like women in his boiler room. He was like the foreman. He was quite brutal. He would whack children and all sorts of odd things in them days. So we thought what we'll do is all the men go out of the room and leave the women in the boiler room. So myself, an organizer, and another guy, we went out to the outside the boiler room and left Dora, Angela, and a few others in the boiler room. What did you get when we left that room?
It went just that quiet, and the ladies was like calling out to that man to come forward to be as nasty he used to be. And it was just quiet, and I said to her, he won't come out because there is no man in the room to back him up. And the thing he's done, I can sense he didn't do it on his own, because if he done it on his own, he would be here now. Letting him know he's there.
Interesting. Because one lady was laying down, wasn't she, at the back of the boiler house?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. Do you know why she was laying down or what was going on?
I don't know why. No.
She was kind of around the corner.
She was apparently laying down there and she felt like someone was trying to roll her over.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I was on the outside of the room in a bit of a museum. There was me, the organiser, and another chap, and we were looking around the room. We had the laser grid out while the girls were in the boiler room. There's Jen in the background.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
So we had,
I can say I felt a presence. You know, when I sat down, when we first went downstairs, I felt a presence. They had these rooms all made out into sort of like kitchens and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So it's like properly laid out with a chair and table and all of that. And I felt a man sitting in the chair. I felt as if he was standing over me. You know.
And that was off one of the side rooms in that main when we first went. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the rooms were made up. They had like, what they having, chairs and
like there would be a kitchen or, you know, and a chair and table and like set up. So I'm just doing some folding. Set up like that, and they had sort of like children's play areas. They had like a doll's house and what are those things? Like a hobby horse.
Oh, rocking horse.
Rocking horse. And like toys of that era and stuff like that. It was quite well set out. But yeah, there was quite a bit of energy going on around there, I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And oh yeah, and someone confirmed that as well, one of those other ladies.
Right.
Because I didn't go round all the stuff because of my walking.
Yeah.
But some of the other ladies confirmed that was a man there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was sort of right at the very beginning. So, you know, good. You didn't need equipment because you was using your senses really, because obviously, you know, your body was better, you know. So we were using our senses to try and gather either, like Jen said, as soon as you was there was energy there.
Yeah.
It was always like Angela and Dora were saying, it was always like they were in the background and never really wanted to come forward.
Yeah.
And I say we went out, came out of the boiler room as the ladies were in there, and we were standing out in another part of the museum which had like it must have been, I think, like presses that pressed the bricks out, or clay, something like that it was. And we put the laser grid out, and one of the guys said, "Who's moving down there? Somebody's walking down there." So we shone the torches. There was nobody there. So I thought, well, that was interesting. And as I was looking around the room, sort of standing next to them, I saw somebody walk past the window, literally walk a shadow past the window, like someone was really busy, like that, straight past the window. And I thought, I looked at him and he went, "Did you see that?" And I went, "I just thought I saw somebody walk past the window." And he said, "I thought that." And just a few minutes before, he thought he saw a shadow sticking their head round the corner of the window having a look. But I saw this shadow figure sort of really quite fast-paced past the window. But apparently outside there, you can't get to it. It's completely sealed up. There's nothing there. It's empty. So quite what we saw there, we all three of us looked at each other and went, "Oh, okay, right." We asked it to come back and show itself and walk past the window again, but we never did. It was just like someone was going about their business, but very quickly. And it literally was. You saw the shape, what looked like a person, a black shadow, and it was straight past the window like someone was doing that, walking along. So that was quite interesting. All three of us saw it at the same time. So that was quite interesting. So where did we go from there? I can't remember.
We went to that room.
Go on, Dora.
We don't went to that room with all the... No, we went first to the room next to the base room, and then we went to the room with all the games, games.
Oh, yeah, like the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy, wasn't it, there?
Yeah.
But we'll play you this EVP, if you're listening. I hope that you can hear it. We've been practicing, me and Angela, so you may well get to hear it. But listen, after I say my name, listen really, really careful. I'll turn this right up. You hear me say, "My name's Paul," and then you'll hear what we think. Well, I won't tell you. See what you think. I don't know whether this will work, but please bear with us. "My name's Paul. Can you tell me your name?" Yeah. Can you hear that, Angela, or not?
I didn't hear it then, no.
How did we do it? Right, let me try that again. Your name? There. No.
Just about hear that.
We did it earlier and we just about caught it. "My name's Paul. Can you tell me your name?" Well.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I can just about hear it, but it sounds more like a breath.
I put my earbuds on so I can hear better.
Can you tell me your name? I'm just moving it around so you can try and hear it, but it's not working very well, I'm afraid. "My name's Paul. Can you tell me your name?" Yeah. That obviously didn't work.
If someone has earbuds on, they can, or headphones, they can hear it.
Yeah. I'll try it once more and see what you think. It's fully up. "My name's Paul. Can you tell me your name?" There. That obviously didn't work. We tried it earlier, me and Angela.
For me, but my ears aren't brilliant.
I'm not sure where the microphone is on this phone, so not sure that one did it sound like a background noise, to be honest, but hard to say. When you actually hear it, I could probably send it over to you, Jamie, and let you have a listen. When I say "my name's Paul," it either says in a very, very deep, gruff voice, "yes" or "Jeff." We can't actually make it out. It's either yes or Jeff, but it's like, yeah, like that. I don't know whether I can. I don't know. I don't know where the speaker is on the phone. Can you tell your name? There.
Didn't hear
it's
it.
very hard to hear. Eh? "My name's Paul. Can you tell me your name?" There. It does actually sound like Jeff. The more you play it, the more it sounds like Jeff. So it's a direct response to a question. So there was nobody else. Shortly after that, you can hear people upstairs talking, but nobody was talking in a really gruff voice. And it's a very, very gruff voice. and it's either yes or Jeff. Sorry?
I was recording on the same time as you on my phone, and you can hear that on my phone recording as well.
Yeah, I will do. I'll try and send it over to you, Jamie, and let you have a listen. But it's quite an interesting reply. You know, we were quite surprised to get a reply, and it was a direct answer to a question. So, you know, for want of a word, it's a direct EVP, Class A one. So a lot of the night we couldn't get very good EVPs because there was lots of movement, lots of chatting, laughing, you know, good energy, good crowd of people, but it was good. And then we went upstairs to one room to do an Estes experiment upstairs. And we were in the room, and one of the girls that was there did it. She did the Estes because apparently she interacts with spirit a lot. So we were told. So she did the Estes, and we were sitting in a room. A lot of what came through was a family member. What we would say was a family member because they recognised the names, and they said I think it's their grandfather or their uncle or someone worked at the Brickworks, but I'm not sure it's granddad, uncle, whatever. So, you know, they were getting a lot, and then Dora decided to stand up and take some pictures of the girl that was doing the Estes method and caught a really good picture. So if you have a look at it, the lady in the background doing the Estes, and right to her right hand side of the picture, you can see this massive orb sitting there.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. What made you get up, Dora, to take that picture?
So she was talking what she heard, but what stick out for me because she was sitting there, but we all kind of have her back to her, and she keeps saying, "Turn around, turn around."
Yeah.
So I thought, I better turn around. And as that orb is little bit above, behind her shoulder, when I turned around, I could see like someone standing to her side. So I took photo with the flash on. I looked at it, nothing. Another one, nothing. And as I took that photo, I was shocked because when the flash went, I didn't look on my phone. I looked on her, and I could see hand coming from behind her, swiping her down here on the side where that orb is. And she said, "I've been touched on my arm."
Yeah.
And I looked on the photo, and there was that orb. You saw me getting off the chair and like being in shock.
It was a good picture, a good instinct to take the picture, especially as you saw it. That's a grey orb. Yeah, we were really impressed with that. You know, especially for Dora to see the hand, you know, in the flash, not actually on the picture, like but in the flash. Amazing. And then Dora was like, "Oh no!" and then showing everybody. So it was a great capture. Well done, Dora. But it just shows about taking pictures. You know, go with your gut instinct. It's always a good thing to go with because, you know, when you think it could be something, take the pictures.
When she was keep saying turn around, I felt like she's talking to me to turn around.
Right.
Like I meant to see this. But after that happened, I got up and walked closer to her, took few pictures after that. Nothing.
Interesting picture though.
Yeah.
Because if you look closely, it's a little bit blurry, isn't it? Whether that's camera image or it's just a flash. But the capture the orb that big, and it's sometimes, you know, like we say, go with your gut instinct. Just take your picture when you think there's something. It's like, you know, I think Julia's a great believer in taking pictures over your shoulder. You know, if you think there's something behind you, take a picture because, you know, you never know what you might see behind you, even though your body, you think, oh, there's something behind me. So it's always worth trying to take a picture. If you get nothing, you've lost nothing. But if you capture something, even if it's an orb right behind you, that sort of backs up your feeling that something's behind you. So it's always worth taking many, many pictures as you possibly can. I don't know about Ghost Dragon Investigation, how many pictures they take, but we tend to take a lot. Julia especially takes a lot of pictures. And, 80-90% of them are nothing. But that 10%, like Dora caught, is undoubtedly a great catcher. Great instinct to get up and take a picture. For her to be saying turn around, it obviously was going to show you something, because it repeated that a few times, didn't she? Really?
Yeah.
Turn round, and we kept saying we're turning around. So it was a great shot, Dora. Well done, you. You have any more pictures, Angela? Or
there's some other orb pictures that Dora's taken. I don't know if they're orbs or insects or dust or what, but that one's sort of the picture.
I lost.
Can you see it, Paul?
Yeah, right at the very bottom, isn't it? By the
like
to the left of the door. Yeah, like a streak. Yeah, that's another good one. Considering how dark it was in that room.
It was pitch black.
It was, yeah. And people saying there's something moving around in the room, wasn't there? But that's why we left the room, the men. So the women would be in this grumpy old man's den, if you like, because he's quite well known for hurting children and women, as he was the foreman, I understand. So, they caught that while they were in there. As you can see, the big, great, massive boilers where they used to, or furnaces where they dry the clay out. So, you're quite close to them. So it's good. There's one right in the middle, I think. Yeah, heading downwards, slightly to the left of the picture, next to the plaque. You see that white streak of light? And that was one there. And I think when we had the laser grid out there, it was like something was moving between the furnaces, really. But it was one of them places where you just couldn't catch it. It was always a split-second corner of the eye place. You just couldn't sort of say that you fully see. The only time I saw was the shadow walk past the window. All the other times you just felt uneasy, or you just felt something was waiting to come through. As you can see there in the middle is another silly thing. Where you gone?
I was on my own in that room and walking really slowly.
So you can see the orb in the middle. So you can see what I was saying to you earlier on the left-hand side of the picture, the slatted floor, but you could see downstairs or upstairs, and the same above in the top of the picture. So that's how, you could discount footsteps, because there was slatted floors, you could hear people moving around. So the footsteps you thought you heard could well have been people shuffling around, because there was a few. So it's a very busy venue. There's a lot of people moving around. I don't know how many people there were newbies or new to the paranormal world. I don't know, but they were a good crowd, friendly crowd. It's a good laugh. And then where do we go from there? We went to there. Then we went to do the seance in that room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we went upstairs, downstairs, isn't it?
Down,
yeah.
So it's downstairs, out the back of the building, near the arcade, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the toilets, that area, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they gathered 10 chairs or 11 chairs around in a circle, and we sat there. So we did some calling out. And at one stage, I thought there was a man with a horse and cart in there.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
And I thought I saw him come in, and we said, then, can you make a noise? And it sounded like, not horse hooves, but there was a noise directly after. We weren't sure, I wouldn't have said it was a horse there's no click, clock, recording anything like that. But there was definitely a noise and a bang on the door. And yet, behind us there's a big, big door, and people kept saying they see shadows outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of light under the door, and I kept looking at it to see whether it sort of changed. And I think a couple of times it looked like a bit of a shift. I was like, I'm not sure, because it was like quite far away at the end of the room. But
Yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody was out there. Was there anybody out there? Because that would have been outside, wouldn't it, in the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw shadow moving from right to left, and the other lady said she saw it as well.
Hmm.
And a split second for
that latch.
The door to the left that
yeah.
goes between the two rooms. And I said to Dora, I just seen a man standing there. Remember, Dora, I said to you, there's a man standing there. And it was sort of, again, in the corner of your eye, in the doorway, and I sort of shifted my eyes round to have a look, sort of without moving my head. And I definitely saw a shadow, again, standing in the doorway. But again, it was a split second there and then gone, like happens at most times, really, isn't it? When you see spirit, it's a split second, unless you're really lucky and get an apparition. But it was always a split second. I'm just trying to get that light out. Always a split second thing in the corner of your eye. So I definitely saw a man there, and it was interesting because they had a music box in the room with us.
That was interesting.
And the event guy was talking, do you want me to go quiet? And the music box went off, didn't it? It started playing. So I said, okay, I'll be quiet then.
Yeah.
And then we'd ask the question, then it'd go off again, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was usually when he asked, wasn't it?
Yeah, and when he spoke, it was going off with him, wasn't it?
Yeah, every time he finished speaking, it was like it was replying by the music box. I was like, oh,
yeah, that was really interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, that was quite very interesting to watch that. He was saying, oh, it's your night, you do the talking. And it's typical because, you get in a group and not everybody wants to say, and then you get the loud ones that are in the group. But he was talking, and then he said, no, come on, this is your night. You need to do this, not me. And he did get responses from it because he was saying about, what was it at the end where you had to say good night, my name's Paul, and can you play the music box? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it happened once with one person that actually played the music box. Wasn't it? But none of us. Nothing. Didn't want to play with us that night. Either that was fed up with the music. But at some stage, though, I don't know whether it was me, but I kept getting that Ring and Roses in my head. The nursery rhyme?
Yeah.
I don't know why I kept getting that, but it was a sense of children there. I'd imagine they were labourers or they belonged to the families that worked at the brickworks. Because I'd imagine it was quite a lot of people worked there when it was its full day, because it was run by steam. So that would be interesting. Apparently, they do run them up sometimes. They have open days and have everything running on the steam.
Oh, nice.
So that would be quite interesting to see whether all that running, all the equipment running, and they tell you about the bricks and how they were made and how they mined the clay, because the clay in the area there was abundant amounts of clay. So that's why the brickworks were there. And it was used during World War One. I read in a plaque for ammunition, making ammunition for World War One.
Oh, right.
So because they'd lost a lot of the labour because people had gone to war. So the government took over the brickworks and made ammunition for World War One there. So that sort of brought the labour back up. And I think it didn't shut till about 1974.
Oh, right.
Because that's why it was made near the river and the rail links, because it was easy to transport the clay and the bricks from the mining to there and make the bricks and then go on the train or upriver into London or wherever they were building and they needed the bricks. So it's an interesting history of the building. So you can imagine walking in there. Unfortunately, it was a wet night, so it was difficult to identify background from all the other stuff going on. What else happened there? What am I forgetting? Something else, am I? No, forgetting something else.
When we were doing the seance, people were sort of kept feeling the cold around their knees, didn't they? Like something was coming around that sort of height.
Because we kept saying, didn't we, can you touch one of us around the circle?
Yeah.
People were saying their legs are cold, their arms were cold. But I can't say I felt a draft. It was cold in places, but it was a sort of building, you could walk around in a t-shirt or a polo shirt.
Yeah.
You know,
it was hot.
yeah, it wasn't like it was a cold building. You were feeling drafts moving through.
No.
You know, you're in polo shirts wandering around. So to have a really massive cold breeze around the circle was interesting, because I think the guy said he put a meter out, and did it drop 5 or 6 degrees when we were asked to pick up? Was it as much as that? Yeah, it was 5 or 6 degrees, or 3 or 4 degrees, one or the other.
Yeah.
But when we asked out to come around a circle and touch one of us, he was saying the temperature's dropping right off. It might have been 3 or 4 degrees. It dropped 5 or 6. I'm not sure in the end, but it did drop, and everybody started to feel it. Feel this coldness around the circle. So that was quite interesting. That was quite interesting to have that happen. But I enjoyed it. I've never been there before, and it was, you know, I think I'd like to go back in the day and have a look at it in the daylight to get the full size of it, because I'd imagine it's huge, massive.
Yeah, from the side of it, it doesn't feel like we went very far in there. It wasn't like,
no,
it's like we missed half of it out, but I don't know.
it was like we were in a little tiny wing, wasn't it? You know,
it was far to the toilet.
yeah, you had to catch a train to the toilet. It was that far away. But you notice how nobody went on their own. People were going in groups.
Oh, and Jen did her spirit art, didn't she?
Yeah, Jen was doing her spirit art and drew a couple of faces. Jen, you got your art book? Jen will show you what she drew. Really interesting pictures again. But Jen obviously suffers with her back, so she can't walk around a great deal like we do. So she tends to sit in the hub and draw. But she gets some great pictures come out. You know, and this guy is the one that she saw in her head, and I think this is probably the foreman, the nasty one that would hurt people and all that sort of, hurt children. And when we were, and this is it here, I don't know if you can see that. So he sort of looks, there's a good jaw in the eyes and everything's good, a beard. And he looks quite aggressive, doesn't he, through the face? He looks quite an angry person.
Yeah.
Where was the other one you drew? Sideways view.
Do you mean the one that everyone was laughing?
The one that Dora was laughing at.
Hard hat.
Good job, Jen's got broad shoulders. The Jen drew it first when we first got there, and Dora was in hysterics.
I hadn't filled it all in.
So he looked like that.
Drawing from the wrong book.
So make of it what you want.
We're talking about the nose, Dora.
So you can imagine the nose started off on its own. So there was if people seeing that in the head, then there's got to be something wrong. But that's what it came out like in the end. So a good sideways view of the same. Do you think that was the same person?
Yeah, because I was getting a beard with him.
So Jen was thinking it was the same person.
Yeah.
As the other picture. Great pictures. So that was interesting. What Jen was getting there.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, he looks quite miserable, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It looked, like Jen said, he looks quite miserable, really, doesn't he?
He does.
He's the sort of man that you probably wouldn't cross. If he shouted at you, just go and do it. And I imagine in them days, they would just go and do what they were told. They needed the money to live, to survive. You know, and I think we were in one part, when the two men came through, and I was talking to Dora about it, and I had a feeling these men would hurt children, especially children. But these two men, the two names came through, a Neil and something else. I can't remember what the other name was.
It began with a B or a C.
Yeah. But myself and Dora, we felt, I don't know whether these guys were actually homosexuals with the children. Because it was a very strong, some of the women were saying that, you know, a lot of these children have been quite badly injured.
Oh.
So I'm not sure whether I was on the right track or wrong track with that. I'm not sure. You know, don't hold me to that. But that was the feeling I had with these two men. they were not being good men with children.
Yeah.
And in them days, you know, what would the children say? They couldn't say anything, could they?
No.
They needed the money, they needed the home. And half the chance, I'd imagine, a lot of them lived on site, you know, because there was buildings all over the place. So I'd imagine a lot of these families lived there because they had nowhere else to go other than the workhouse or somewhere of that sort of stature. So I'd imagine, you know, with them things going on there with men in charge and all of that, I can imagine their life for the women and the children were quite hellish there, you know, but you can't blame them. You can't blame them. You've got to live. You know, it's there or it's the workhouse. And that's, again, not a place that you want to be taking your children to. So you'd have probably just put up with all of that type of male dominance, I suppose you would call it, whatever you want to call it. They would just have to put up with it. Because you could probably hear the statement, if you don't like it, go.
Yeah.
You know, where else would they have to go? They had nowhere. You know, they were living and working. In them days, they were doing very similar like us, weren't they? Where they were living and working. You know, you live to work instead of work to live. You know, they had no choice, that or the workhouse.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to end up in the workhouse because the conditions in one of them are atrocious. So at least working in a factory, you had a chance of a steady job, a steady wage, and maybe food. So, but, you know, I'm not sure about these two men. I think they were up to no good, to be honest with you. And I said this to Dora, I had a feeling, just had a feeling about it, because they came through on the board, didn't they, when doing the spirit board?
Yeah, I was just trying to remember that. I know there was, I think they said there was 9 spirits there and 4 of them were adults or men. And then I think we got a couple of names, but I can't remember what they were. And I can't remember what the questions asked were either.
I think, well, I'm sure it's Neil. Oh, did somebody say Jeff came through? The name Jeff?
Yeah, because I said that's the name we had on the AVP.
Yeah. And some people said they'd been in another room and had a Jeff came through on a recording.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be Jeff, it could be yes. I don't know. I'll try and send it through, Jamie, if I can work out how to send it to you and let you have a listen and see what you think. You know, we could debunk it. It quite possibly. I don't think it's outside noise. I think it's a direct response to a question, but it's difficult to make it out because it's a very, very low, gruff voice, so, which was interesting, really. And on the board was behaving, and then it started to behave in an odd way.
Yeah,
kept repeating, and
C and K, I think it was.
What was it?
Just going between the letters C and K. And then we're like,
this is not good. Yeah. And then one of the event organisers came over, he said, shut the board, because that's something bad that's possibly trying to get through. So obviously after that, we shut the board down, obviously protect ourselves and everybody else in and around the building and anybody else that goes in the building. You know, they need that protection. You don't want to open something, go away and leave it open that somebody else is going to have an issue with. You know, we never do that. We always close it down. And we've never had an issue. We've never had anything happen to any of us, touch wood. You know, we've always done it the right way. You can imagine some people open spirit boards, something happens and they all run off screaming. But the board is still then left open to any or all entities to come through. I think a few years ago, they were selling Ouija boards in the pound shop.
Yeah.
So, you know, that breaks your mind sort of bit. Why you'd be selling them sort of boards in a pound shop? They were cheap, but you know, people could buy them and not have a clue how to use them, and then cause all sorts of many issues. You know, so if you use them, make sure you use them with someone that knows how to use them. Make sure you open it properly and close it properly, and understand how the planchette moves. They're a good form of communication, brilliant form of communication, and they date back hundreds and hundreds of years. But in the right hands, you get some good information. In the wrong hands, you could cause yourself a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
You know, and then other people have to then go in and clear it up or try and get it out or whatever's come through. So be aware when you're using them. what you're using them, how you're using it. And like we say, always shut it down. Make sure you say goodbye at the end and then close it. Take the planchette off the board, close the board, and then you're perfectly fine. So anything else I've missed?
You didn't get to use your rods, did you, Dora? The ones that look like
yeah, your car aerials. Dora stole a couple of car aerials on her way there. Have you got them, Dora? Have you got them with you?
Yeah.
Show the people your dowsing rods. It was funny. Me and Angie thought she'd stolen off the cars.
They do look like that.
I do actually. That's why I looked at them and thought they look like car aerials.
One come off her car. She parked outside my house.
Yeah, that's why I got no signal.
Yeah, took it off the Range Rover.
Yeah.
But Dora took them. We never actually used them, which was a shame, really.
Yeah.
But
Just popped in my head then.
yeah, we had a little chuckle when we saw them because they looked like car aerials. So unfortunately, we never got to use them on the night, which would have been interesting to see them work.
Yeah.
See if they would have worked. It would have been interesting.
Mine, and I always forget to use them.
Yeah.
So I get home and go,
There you go. Look, Dora teacher. So, Dora, have you used them before? Have you used them at home?
No, not yet.
So there's Dora's car aerial. So if you've got missing a car aerial, it's in Portsmouth. So, as you can see, it's like a school teacher, isn't it? Where they have them put the sticks at top and then they fold them away.
Don't start with me.
Well, Dora could get FM and the shipping forecast on them. So if you want a shipping forecast, contact Dora. Brilliant bit of kit. Back to basic kit, but it was funny. But it's a shame. And Dora's headlight, she's got a light brighter than a ship light. This thing, there you go, look, this thing is immense. Honestly, if you took that to Heathrow, you'd be out laying the planes with that. With that right. She got it as a birthday present from Sean, her husband. But it's a brilliant light, absolutely brilliant light. So if you're in need of a brilliant light, contact Dora, and I'm sure she'll tell you what make it is. But it's hugely bright, hugely good. And you have a little one came with it, didn't you? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's the flashlight.
How much was it?
No, that's good. But it's actually absolutely brilliant piece of equipment.
Yeah. It's rechargeable.
And rechargeable. And does it give you battery power on the top of it, Dora?
It's just rechargeable battery inside, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
big one.
It's immensely bright. So if you're looking for a really, really good torch, then that's the one I would recommend. There's lots of torches out there, but that thing is immense.
But show you how much percent it's left.
Oh.
So it even tells you how much charge is in it, which is really, really good.
Little one.
Oh, the little one Dora was hanging on there. That was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and got like good.
So there you go. So that was our Bursledon. So Dora was wearing that, which was good. You know,
you can
wearing
also
that.
to the big one. You've got like an inset.
Oh yeah, for AA batteries.
AA batteries in.
That's a good kit, isn't it? It comes with everything, doesn't it?
And a blank battery.
Nice. So next time we're out, we'll be using Dora's car aerials. Give them a try. See how we get on with them. We might pick up some shipping forecast or some FM radio, but we'll try. But no, we'll give them a try. It's always good to go back to basics. So
and cover it up as well.
Yeah, good kit, good all-round kit. So well done, Sean, for getting that. A good kit. So well done him. I don't know if there's anything else now, really, is it? Sorry?
Obviously made in China.
Isn't everything?
Yeah.
Isn't everything? We just don't know it, do we? But I think that's about it for tonight, really. It's about our investigation. And so it was very wet. It was an interesting place. I found it very interesting.
Yeah.
I can imagine with a smaller group it would be quieter, and I think really you'd get some good EVPs. There's
And
a few
longer.
times, yeah. It
Because
nights
time
seemed
went
to whiz
so
away.
quick.
It seemed to whiz away, didn't it? And
Yeah.
before you knew it, it was over.
Mhm.
And you're thinking, and they were saying, right, we're going to get a cup of tea. Think, well, we've just got started, really. Sometimes.
We went downstairs to that session where we sat around, and he said we've got 2 minutes left, and it was like, what? We just come in here.
Yeah, we've been here 10 minutes, surely.
Yeah, it literally was like that saying that how time flies.
Yeah.
And it literally did, didn't it? It just, although we were there half hour, 40 minutes, wasn't it? In each part.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to go just like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
5 minutes, we're going to have a coffee and thinking, well, hang on a minute, we've only just got here.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what that was all about, but it just seemed to whiz past. So all round, I think I'd like to go back in the daylight and have a look at it in the daylight just to see the sheer size of it. So I'd imagine it's huge, a huge site. But it's a very good museum. So if you ever want, and in that area, whereabouts is it? Bursledon?
Bursledon. I think comes under Southampton.
Passing White.
Yeah. So if you're ever in that area, pay it a visit. It's a good place. It's well set out, very knowledgeable. You walk around and see about the bricks, how they made them, and the labour, and what was needed to make the bricks, and say made ammunition in World War One as well. So it was interesting to know it was used for that. So if you're ever in that area, it's well worth paying it a visit. I would suggest if you're going to do paranormal night, a smaller group maybe, so you can get the full aspect, the size of it. It's huge, but we seem to cover a very small part of it. I think whether you can't go any further than what we did, I don't know, but we seem to cover a huge. Sorry.
Maybe through daytime it's more accessible.
Yeah.
It could be health and safety and all of that at night.
You can imagine just let people spread there and try to find them later on.
Imagine that's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was rooms off of rooms, wasn't there? Like the room when we first went in that other room.
Yeah, if you got set plan, then you allow people here and there, you know where to find them later on.
Yeah. But it was interesting. I really enjoyed it. I've never been there before, so it was interesting to go there for the first time and listen to other people's experiences on the night. Listen to how other people are talking about their experiences and the experience that we had there. So I don't think, is there anything else tonight, Andrew? Or
I don't think so.
We've got Fort Pembroke coming up on the 20th this month with Paranation. So I think there's probably tickets left. I'm not sure because Julia's not here tonight. But go onto the Paranation website and have a look. Get your tickets. I think Cogs Manor Farm, one she's got on there, is sold out now. So I think that's done. But go on there and have a look because there's a few venues coming up with Paranation. We get on there, buy your tickets and come and meet us in person. A couple of them we won't be at because obviously we have other commitments. Paranormal is our passion, but we do have other commitments. So, it's not all of our life as much as we want it to be, but it's not. So, if there's no more questions, it only remains for me to say thank you for tuning in tonight. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for tuning in. So, it only remains for me. Hi, Jackie. It only remains for me to say have a very, very safe week from all of us on the panel. We'll see you next Monday. We might have a couple of guest speakers. I'm going to mail them this week, see if I can get on them. If you're around, Essex Ghost Hunters are on Thursday night with me.
Ooh, cool.
Talk about my friend that time travelled. They want me to answer some questions about that. So I'll be on there. So if you subscribe to Essex Ghost Hunters, brilliant to watch. I enjoy watching them. They talk about such a vast amount of stuff. It's incredible, but very knowledgeable guys. Ghost Dragon Investigation, great stream, everyone. Thank you, Jamie. I'll try and send that over to you, mate. if I can try and work it. Me and technology, we're just not hand in hand. I get it there, but I never know how I get it there. The next time round, I was thinking, well, how did I do that last time? So I never grew up with technology, I'm afraid. I used to have one of them beads that slide along a pole. None of your calculators, none of your computers, none of your voice recorders. So I'm very, very old school. And what I know now is what I've taught myself. So there you go. I will try and send that over somehow. So it only remains me to say thank you again. Have a great, great week from all of us on the panel. Be safe and we'll see you next Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.